Hey, what's up everyone? So today, it's that time of year. It doesn't look like it, but it's October. And it's winding down to the time where I'm going to be putting machines away. This is a backup machine for me, so I'm going to put this one away first and use my primary machine. But hopefully this will help you with your primary machine. So what do? How do we safely put this away for the winter? Well, let's go over a couple steps. Now, one of these steps I did in depth in a different video, so definitely check that one out. But first thing is first, we are going to want to check the engine oil. And when I mean check, I actually mean both check and replace. I just got done using it, so it's probably pretty, you're not going to be able to tell, but you should replace the oil. Now, I'm going to be doing this off camera for the sake of time, because I'm sure watching liquid fall out of an engine is not 100% entertaining. So I'll just explain it. I personally take an oil container, put it on the side where it's the side of the deck is not going to touch it. Tip it over as fast as you can. Make sure to disconnect the spark plug, and then that's it. It just dumps out. You pour the correct amount. If you don't know what the amount is, go to the internet, type in, let's say this one in particular is a Briggs & Stratton 6.5 horsepower motor. You'll be able to find a correct amount of milliliters, ounces, whatever part of the world you're at, and put it in there. 10W30, and that's it. So that's going to be one of the biggest components, but the others definitely are important. But as long as you change the oil, you're probably going to be pretty good the next year. Next one, I think I kind of misspoke before. This is also important, but the longevity part of the mower is going to be important for the oil. Starting next year, this is going to be the most important part. Your fuel. If you look in your fuel tank and you look at it, you're like, oh my gosh, it is almost full. So you have a couple options there. One, I'm going to go in order of not so good to best. The not so good is just to pour a little fuel stabilizer in there and hope for the best. I'm not a fan of fuel stabilizer. Fuel stabilizer will kind of help you fix one problem by creating another one. It's kind of like getting cancer. Yeah, you may not die from cancer, but the treatment from cancer killed you. It's just not good. So the next one is to take a clamp and clamp your handle all the way down and let it run until it's out of fuel. Or if you really want to, you could drain the fuel, which is probably a better idea if you have a full tank. If you have a little bit, like maybe another 10-15 minutes worth, just let it run out, and that's it. But the best way is, if you can, fill it to the top with non-ethanol fuel. Non-ethanol fuel will be good the next year. It's good for about a year compared to a couple months with ethanol fuel. If you don't have non-ethanol fuel where you live, then doing the first two, probably the second one's going to be best. If you really don't want to do the second one and you do want to go down the stabilizer route, every maybe month or two, it sounds weird, but go outside and start it and let it run for 2-3 minutes, just to kind of burn the fuel that's in the bowl, and that kind of gets rid of some of the problems. Because what ends up happening is, just with the cap is vented, and in the wintertime things get cold and they start to sweat, and with the tank open to atmosphere, including the carburetor, you're just going to get condensation. And at least when you kind of exercise it, the fuel that's kind of getting a little sketchy can begin to kind of work its way through and start to kind of, not just sit in the bottom of a metallic bowl. So if you're going to do anything like that, just make sure to run your engine a couple times throughout the year. Yeah. Next one is, you can change it, you can check it, whatever your preference is, but at least check it. Check your air filter. Now, if you see one that looks like this, it's probably okay. I mean, it's not horrible. It looks pretty good. If it looks pretty bad, or potentially even wet with oil, you probably have a problem. But let's say you accidentally tipped over the wrong light, you're going to want to change it. So change your filter or inspect it. Same thing with your spark plug. Spark plug is a little hard. They're cheap, don't get me wrong, but they also last a long time. So I would at least check it. And what you're looking for is large deposits. If you have any large deposits, you're probably going to want to change it. But if it's just like a light brown color, that's actually perfectly normal. I would just leave it. If you have no run problems, no miss, no nothing, your plug is probably fine. So there's really no point of wasting money just because you want to have a sparkly plug at the end of your mower. Then second to the last one is going to be, you're going to want to, actually third from the last, you're going to want to sharpen your blade. I have blade sharpening videos, but easiest way is to remove the excuse me, the blade from the machine, and then take like a flap disc. I like using those on a grinding wheel, or excuse me, a grinder. You could do it that way. Bench grinder, you could do it that way, however you want. Impact is going to be your best friend. Taking that off, remove the spark plug cable, disconnect it. That way you don't accidentally start it when you're trying to put your hand around here. That will be bad. And if you don't have one of those, they're usually jamming like a log or something. When the blade's spinning, hitting the ground, will do it for you. So sharpen your blade. In addition to that, clean up all this grass. You're going to want to remove stuff like this. That over time will trap moisture, especially throughout the winter time. It's just going to be sitting there and sitting there and sitting there and sitting there and causing rust. So you may not have rust on the top, but rust can eat its way through the bottom of your mower. Even if you have an aluminum deck, that's still going to cause corrosion, and you don't really want that. So clean the bottom of it, get rid of all the excess crap, and you should be clean and ready to go. I would hope this would go without saying, but I'm just going to have to say it. I just got done mowing, and for reasons I'll explain later, this bag is full. You're going to want to make sure everything is emptied. Don't put this away with a full bag of grass, just saying. The next part is you're going to want to prep the engine. So the fuel's good, the oil's good, air filter, spark plug, deck, bag, all that's ready to go. Next thing is you don't want any rust or moisture to go inside of your combustion chamber and potentially causing a problem starting next year. Could potentially cause some pitting, all kinds of bad stuff. And in addition, you kind of are able to clean up some carbon doing this next step. I would highly recommend getting something. I made a video on this container, Seafoam Top Engine Cleaner and Lube. I've never tried this particular one, but it seems like it's doing pretty good. I made a video specifically how to do it, but basically you're going to want to add some type of lubrication, there we go, to the top end of your motor to kind of coat it to protect it from water and moisture and condensation. I apologize if the wind is getting me. And by doing so, you're going to allow it to just be in a better state for next year. If you can just give yourself as much corrosion resistance as possible, you're going to find yourself in a good position. You're going to not have to worry about premature wear. You're not going to have to worry about when you first started up, anything like that. You're going to be able to start it up with peace of mind that you did it right. So let's go over everything one last time. First thing you check and change: oil, fuel, air filter, spark plug, blade, underneath the deck, and finally lubing and cleaning the engine. So if you do all those items, you could easily put this away, preferably in an undercover area. If you don't have like a shed or something, then at least something that has a little bit of venting. You don't really want to have like a cover, because the cover could even get a little wet. Like barbecue covers come to mind. Just cover it up, but it has a little ventilation, but you're not exposing it directly to the elements. Ideally inside of a garage or a shed. And then April, May, March, whenever you need to bring this out, you're able to bring it out, put a little gas in there, assuming that you even have to, prime it up, choke it up, whatever, and call it good. You are good to go for the whole year. You know you have everything ready for the whole year. You don't have to worry about maintenance pretty much that entire year because you did it right now. And all you have to do is just start using it. If you like what you see, keep watching, subscribe. Follow me on Instagram at SmallEngine101. If you have any questions or comments, leave them below. Check out that lube and carbon cleaning video about the seafoam. That way you can get a little bit more of a detailed procedure and how to do so. And I'll catch you on the next video. Have a good night.